You can also get on my website. That's a lot of information here. Get on my website, which is www.ryan-gomez.com, and in the next 24 hours or so, we'll endeavor to get a podcast up there as well. You can download the podcast, listen to it on the way to work, or whatever you're doing, to your business, listening to it on the weekend. So grab yourself a cup of coffee. Yes, like I said, after about 8:30 this morning, we're speaking to a special guest, Utah Klipswitz, who is a life coach and a mentor. Speaking to her after about 8:30, a little after 8:30 this morning. But I just want to touch on what I was saying this morning and going through the whole thing of hope and having hope. Yes, absolutely, but taking action. At the end of the day, it's about harnessing the power of decision, about making a decision, isn't it? That is the absolute key. Again, coming back, and these are some real gold nuggets I'm giving you. Take it, run with it. And if you heard this time and time again, it's nothing different I talk about on this segment. It's a lot of the stuff you've heard time and time again. But do you take action about it? Do you make a decision? See, there's a few quick steps I want to go through, and I know I don't have much time in order to harness that power of decision about making decisions in life. You got to remember that the true power of making a decision is a tool itself, and you can use this in any moment to change your entire life. The minute you make a new decision, you set in motion a new cause, an effect, a direction, and a destination for your life. That's when you literally begin to change your life, and the moment of your life changes as soon as you make a new decision, if I can put it that way. Remember that when you start being overwhelmed and when you start feeling that you haven't made the right choices and some of the things that you need to do, what is it that's when you need to stop and say, hey, hang on, I need to make a decision. This is where I need to decide. And remember, a real decision is measured by the fact that you have taken some action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided. I hope you're on track with me. And always give this analogy of if I can remember, three cats sitting on a fence. There's three cats sitting on a fence. Two decide to jump off. How many cats are now sitting on a fence? So I'll say it again. Three cats sitting on a fence, right? If two decide to jump off, how many cats are now sitting on a fence? It's not tricky. There's still three cats sitting on the fence. So deciding to jump off and taking the leap and making a decision are two different things. So a lot of us sit back and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a decision at some point in time, and constantly pondering on it. So making a decision and just sitting back and waiting to make the decision are two different things. So you need to make the decision and take the leap. And realize that the hardest step in achieving anything is making a true commitment. A true commitment to making a decision. So carrying out your commitment is often much easier than actually making the decision itself, isn't it? So make your decisions and make it quick. And always say make it quick. So don't labor on it forever and keep questioning yourself what's going to happen, going into the thought process. And I've spoke about it last week, and I said a lot. Something I've learned is your mind, or every time you take that step back and you start thinking too deeply about things, your mind is designed to protect you. And if your mind says, hey, you know what, Ryan, you're taking time to make this decision, and you're thinking about, is it going to be the right choice? Your mind is going to be the latter and say, hey, you know what? Do not even take the next step, because your mind is designed to protect you. So when you think about making a decision, make it quick. Make it quick. Don't labor on it forever. And a lot of studies have shown in the past that some of the most successful people that makes decisions make it rapidly because they are clear on their values. And what is it that they really want in their lives? And the same studies show that they are slow to change the decision, if at all. And if you look on the other hand, people who usually fail make decisions slowly and change their minds quickly all the time, and bouncing back and forth on whether it is the right decision to be made. Should I make that decision? Always sitting on the fence. You just have to decide. Make a decision and take a leap. And realize that decision making is a kind of act in itself, if I can put it that way. So you know that you truly made a decision when action starts to flow, when you start to see some results. Hey, you know what? If it's a wrong results, you then turn back and say, hey, you know what? I've made a decision, yes, but I'm not getting the results I need. Let's take a step back. Let's look at it. Go back to the drawing board, make another decision, and learn from it. And that is the key. And this is what successful people do out there. Is you think successful people are always making right decisions? 99% of the time they're making the wrong decisions. But they learn from that and then learn to make the right decisions and learn to achieve their goals. But at the end of the day, do not leave the scene without making a decision. You've got to make a decision. And make decisions and make it often. I always say that. The more decisions you make, the better you're going to be at making them. Muscles get stronger when you start to make the decisions. If you know what I mean, it's just like going to the gym, right? And you are exercising your muscles. You're constantly doing that. You make your muscles stronger. Your muscles get stronger. Your body gets stronger. So exactly right. So that's what happens when you start making decisions. Your mind starts making those some great decisions, and your muscles get stronger. It's like reading books constantly, getting that information. And it's no point in just having I've seen people with a library of books in their houses, but they have all this information. They have all this information in them. Are they then taking the next step of then putting that into action? I don't know. That's a question you need to ask yourself. So it's no point of having all this wealth of knowledge, this library of knowledge, and not taking action on it, not making some decisions. You've got to unleash that power and unleash that power right now. And that's what I'm talking about. It's about making a decision instead of putting it off and procrastinating over it. Let me tell you, you won't believe the energy and the excitement you'll create in your life. And when you start making these decisions, you say, hey, you know what? I didn't realize it was, the task I set out to achieve wasn't that easy. I mean, I thought it was going to be even harder than what I thought. And another step is taking from that is, as much as you're making decisions and making it often, you got to learn from the decisions. So I'm giving you some key steps here. I've learned from some successful people and constantly get to learn from these people and see what they've done, and successful people, what they've done and how they've gone about making. So learn from the decisions. There's no way around it. Absolutely no way around it. And I spoke about shortcuts this morning. You're going to, if I can put it this way on radio, if you're going to screw up no matter what. You're going to screw up and but at the end of the day, instead of beating yourself up and beating yourself to the ground, learn something from it. Ask yourself what is good about this, and what was some of the challenges you had through making that decisions. What are some of the key things you've learned through making the decisions, and what I've learned from failures itself. And it's an unbelievable gift in disguise when your mind starts to go to work on this. And when you start making decisions, you go from one decision to another, and you're constantly making some decisions, making some choices. Your life starts to change. Things start to work. Whether it be in your career, whether it be in your business, whether it be, as opposed to just sitting out there and going, hey, life is bad, things are never going to work for me. You just about get off that lounge, and you need to start making some decisions. Rather than focus on the short-term setbacks, choose and learn from the lessons that you've learned from the past and the decisions you've made. That will save you a lot of money and time and a lot of pain. And guess what? If you stick to it constantly, you are going to succeed. You're going to succeed. And then at the end of the day, the next step is to stay focused and stay committed. I can speak about on staying focused and staying committed for the next couple of hours, actually, to be honest. But in saying that, it is the key. As much as you're learning to make those decisions and making those decisions, if I can get my words right, and some absolute tongue twisters here, but in making those decisions right, you've got to stay committed. You've got to stay committed to that plan, committed to your goal, stay focused on it. And every time you start to lose track and every time you start to feel down, go back to those 5 people I keep talking about. 5 people that motivate you constantly, will give you that energy and encourage you to keep moving forward. And get back on track. Get back on track. Don't derail yourself. No, don't derail yourself, because you are going to, like I said, at the end of the day, screw up at some point in time. You're going to screw up. Hey, there's no way around it, and there's no shortcuts. And I spoke about this morning. But you need to, at the end of the day, make some decisions and make some choices and move forward and ultimately learn from it and stay committed and stay focused to your goal. And at the end of it all, you've got to enjoy making those decisions. Enjoy making those decisions. It's no halfway through. It's about going through some of these key steps I talk about. Key steps. Enjoy making those decisions. You must know that in every moment you make a decision, or a decision you make can change that course of your life forever. Think about it. The very next person you sit next to, you stand behind, or you sit next to on an airplane or a train, the very next phone call you make or you receive, the very next movie you see, the next book you read, the next page you turn, the next, it's that one single thing that will cause the floodgates to open. And all of these things can fall in place if you make some decisions. If you really want to live a life of passion, if you really want to live a life of true purpose, of achieving things, you ultimately need to develop that attitude and character about yourself of making decisions, making those decisions. And it's those small decisions you make that ultimately shape your life powerfully. And some of the small decisions I made 8-9 years ago has shaped my life powerfully to be able to doing what I'm doing right now. And I've only started, let's put it that way. Some of the things that powerfully shaped my life and some of the small decisions I made was, I decided to get out there with that low self-esteem mind of mine and learn from some confident people, learn from people who are achieving some great things. It was not easy. It was not easy to be able to have conversations one-on-one with an individual, but it was the toughest thing for me 8-9 years ago. But I wanted to get out of that, that low self-esteem, low confidence mindset and say, you know what, I need to change things about myself. So I started making some small decisions, very, very small, tiny decisions, if you want to put it that way. I went out to seminars, went out to some great seminars, motivational seminars, leadership seminars, met people, met leaders, sat back, watched these guys, what they do, and constantly do that, and I still do that. Took notes, started reading some self-development books, started to move around people that were positive, people who would fortify you, would give you that courage to get you going. Joining some of these organizations out there that help you build this confidence. And finally, after 3 to 4 years, my mindset started to change. Now, I didn't realize that change because when I started making those decisions about started doing those small things in life, all of a sudden my life started to change. I started making some better decisions. I started making some bigger decisions. I started making some bolder decisions. Let's put it this way, I started making some bigger choices, even though, like I said, 80-90% of the time were the wrong choices, were the wrong decisions I was making. But I kept on doing what I wanted to do. I went back to the drawing board, learned from it, but I constantly kept reading books, constantly moved around positive people. And I constantly get to do that. So much so I started moving around. I speak to audiences around the world today. I speak to, doing this radio segment, TV segment, and a lot more what I do out there. Help people, coach people, guide them, mentor them. Have my own business, have this. So it took that little things I had to do to get out of that, that low self-esteem of mine, to make those small decisions, to ultimately start making some bigger decisions in life. And it's changed my life forever. It's changed the course of my life. The decisions I made 10 years ago, small decisions, which were a lot of times were the wrong choices, the wrong decisions, but I stuck to it. And it's got me to where I am. And I always say, the choices you make today in life, or your choices you made 5 years ago, has got you to where you are today in life. So where you are today in life is the choices you made 5 years ago, if I can put it that way. It's not to confuse you, yeah? But simple things I talk about. And I believe in doing the simple things in life. I don't want to complicate life. It's not about complicating life. You go out there and people give you this 10 steps to success, and this is what you do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Great, take all that in. But at the end of the day, it's the simple things in life that you do will get you to a more powerful place. And some of the key decisions you make, and making those decisions, will get you to what the success you need in life. So, get used to making some decisions. Get used to taking the next step. And that is the most important thing. I always say. So as much as I say, hope is a great thing. It'll get you started. You've got to keep on it, because at the end of the day, it is you that will stop you from achieving what you want in life. No one else. It's you. It's you. I'll say it again. It's you that will stop you from achieving what you want, not anyone else. And at the end of the day, once you start saying, hey, you know what, this is what I want to do, make some decisions and move forward. It has to just be the small decisions, the little decisions that will powerfully shape your life. You're tuned into 97.7 FM KC Radio for an hour of power and leadership with me, Ryan Gomez. We are streaming live on the web, that is www.kcradio.com.au. And my Facebook page is www.facebook.com/Ryan Gomez Coaching.